Hello everyone, welcome to my sketchbook tour. If you hear some weird chewing sounds in the background, I have a toy poodle who is snacking on a bone. So without further ado, let's talk about this completed sketchbook tour. I can't honestly remember how many pages are in this, but it was quite a few, at least 100. So I'm pretty excited about this. I've never filled a sketchbook up like this for real. This is an actual fully filled sketchbook. I don't think I skipped any pages. It is from the Mary Ann collection. I actually got this for like $1 at the dollar store, and I think it's one of my favorite sketchbooks I've ever had. The cover is kind of like a smooth, but I don't know, it feels nice. It's almost got like a faux leather feel to it. I don't know, it's interesting. Before we get started, I'm gonna apologize for the state of my hands. If they look like I am dying, I am not. I had a breakout with mold, and so I have blisters on my hands, and I just put some liquid Band-Aid on them to make them be a little less irritated, so I apologize for that. But let's get started. So the first page starts with this really nice craft, like intro pages. So there's not really like a first page like there is in some sketchbooks. But I decided I'd started another one, and instead of just absolutely scrapping what I had going on in that one, because I didn't really like the paper, I just decided to cut it out and stick it in here and then start this one. So here was where I did some swatching and testing of different materials I thought I was going to want to really use in this. I ended up not really using it. I really just stuck to a couple colored pencils and a couple pens, but in the end, I still think this is one of my favorite pages. So started off strong in this. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously if you can't really tell, but this is supposed to be Mad Mickelson, and just some photos from Pinterest that I enjoyed. So I don't usually do anything on that first page that's oddly connected. I started this May 25th of 2023, so almost a year ago, which is obviously par for the course. I typically do not draw during my busiest school months. Right now I teach, and I teach English, which is not the easiest subject to go home with just your lunch pail. Typically when you do go home, you are grading lots of essays. So I typically don't draw that much during certain months of school. This one I had started right after school ended. I wanted to draw in the summer, and these would be drawings that I was making after probably not drawing from February to May, and just trying to get that ability back again. Amazingly though, I mean, these are pretty strong for not having drawn in so long. I'm actually really impressed with what I was able to remember from just not practicing at all. Which that's not to say that I don't have a background and that I haven't studied before, but I do find that often I lose a lot of that ability. Just because I have waited so long to draw again. So it's nice to see kind of where I was and then where I am now. So these were all drawn in 1 week. They're all kind of on the 27th through the 30th of May, the last week right after school had ended. We were babysitting a dog. The new Zelda box had dropped, and I was just kind of enjoying pencil and really getting to know like how to use a stump, a blending stump. Oh. This is probably a more realistic page of what my art looks like. I'm gonna zoom in just for so high quality. This one just kills me. Trying to get some of that practice in for just the basic figure and just, I have always struggled with form and making things look realistic and solid, so I did try to practice that. It seems that every other page I have decided to draw the opposite way. But like I said, I really, really wanted to focus on making things solid, and I think the practice helped. I don't know that I practiced enough. So this is a skip forward quite a bit. I would say those were all in May, the last week of May. These are closer to, I would say maybe July, I believe. I know this was definitely during the summer. I was playing Death Stranding for the first time, and I was just obsessed with Leia Sadu. I think that's how you say her name. Oh, I just thought she was the coolest. Some Daredevil down here. Funny story behind this artwork. I read a fan fiction about, this is so random, this is before the Barbie movie even came out. It was, what if Daredevil was in Toy Story? And it was so comical to me because Matt was a Barbie doll, and I thought, that is so real. That is exactly what Matt Murdock would be. He was a Ken doll. And Foggy Nelson, if you've ever watched the show, he's just such a sweetie. He was a troll doll, and that just cracked me up. So I decided I wanted to try to draw what he could look like if he was a troll doll. So anyway, it was actually a very good, funny story. This is probably one of my favorite pages. I'm just so happy with the way it turned out. This is Mycroft Holmes, and of course this is just a random, just from imagination, which is much better than I normally do, but I know I had been drawing quite a bit at this point, and so I think I had some visual memory built up, but oh, this is one of my favorite ones. Here I started experimenting with brush pen and just seeing kind of if I liked it. I really wanted to have stronger lines and draw in more permanent materials. I had gotten into, oh, excuse my laundry buzzer. I had gotten into Hannibal at this point and really enjoyed the dynamic, which I know it's like so old now, but still very good. I was also doing a lot of just kind of painting, but not in any serious manner, just mostly values. One of my goals has always been to be able to draw fan art, specifically fan art of, couples that I really enjoy. So I had been trying to practice more than one person in a drawing and it feeling natural. I'm not sure I have even achieved that now, even after so much practice, but it is a goal. Oh, looks like I did have a blank page in here. I kept trying to use gouache, and I just had no idea how to use it. It was not going well. Everything kept coming out so red, and I just wasn't able to get the skin tones in any way that I wanted, which was unfortunate because I think I would like gouache if I could figure it out. But I have always been more of a watercolor painter. That's something I understand a little bit better. I was actually getting back into Killing Eve, so that would be Eve Polastri. Oh gosh, the names are leaving me now, but I just thought she was such a beautiful actress. I really loved the shape of her face. I obviously did not do it justice here, but I thought she was just a really incredible actress. This is where I actually got some Prismacolors, and I really like the way that these turned out. I'm really proud of this one. Nope, I turned too soon. Now, I do like Star Wars. I do like the Reylo couple. I wish that we had more of them, and I wish it was better fleshed out. I have a lot of gripes with the new Star Wars because I really wanted to like it, and I just didn't end up enjoying it. But this is just based off a reference photo, and I really like it. And this is based off of Emma Darcy from House of the Dragon on Game of Thrones. I think they are just so cool. Some more studies. Again, really trying to figure out form and not getting there. Still having trouble with proportion. Like, I can just, something's just off, so I still struggle with that even now. Here I decided to take a day and just swatch everything. Strangely enough, this is not only, it's like upside down and backwards. I don't know if I must have just picked up my sketchbook really strangely that day. I started getting into color erase and colored pencil and just really enjoying that as kind of a medium. Let's adjust that light. Maybe you guys can see it a little bit better. I don't even know what that is. It looks like some crazy Venn drawing. More drawing. Oh yeah, the hands. Just some hand practice, just for fun. This page was interesting, only because I was practicing skulls, and then I overlaid a transparent sticky note on one of the skull heads and then tried to draw a face over it, and I thought that was interesting. It was a really good way to see how the structure is underneath. I really like this page. I wanted to, so this is when I got back into it. I would say this is probably January, and I wanted to remind myself, like, what do I like? What do I want to draw? And so I came up with, at that time, I was really into Sanji from One Piece, The Witcher, Tears of the Kingdom, and Hannibal. And so I was kind of like, yeah, those are things that I would enjoy looking at for a long time and trying to, put into my sketchbook. I started really trying to focus on skulls again, because that is, I really want to do portraiture and I want to have solid forms, but I just don't have a working foundation of the skull. And typically once I do get a good foundation, I start school again, and I can't keep up the practice. I was definitely going through it. One Piece, I had never been interested before. I'd never really seen it or understood what it was. The live action sucked me in, so now I have started the anime. This was actually, it's supposed to be Dandelion from The Witcher. Yes, yeah. Who even knows? Notes, I guess. Some more. I really like the way that the hair turned out on this. I think it's really nice. Some more just fooling around. I don't know what that is. there's a blank, so 2 blank pages out of all of these. Back into Death Stranding. I think I actually filmed this, but I never uploaded it. I wasn't proud enough of it. I felt like it didn't look very good. That's Cliff Unger and Sam Porter Bridges. Dead Man. Oh, I really like him. This was me drawing without reference and just trying to figure out, can I do this? Spoiler alert, the answer is not really. Not without a reference. Back to drawing faces, practicing that. It's kind of my default. I like to go back to that whenever I'm feeling frustrated. Some watercolor featuring very zoomed in versions of Sanji. I actually am really proud of these. I know that his face is too long, and that's frustrating, but I do think both of these were really nice. I like the way they turned out. They were both in watercolor. Just messing around a little bit. This one I was really proud of. I really like the way it looks. I just really enjoy like the detail. I think it was just gorgeous. If I do say so myself. Another Hannibal. Like I said, this detail is just, I really like what was going on there. And this becomes kind of a trend, at least for a little bit, where I was doing that just in my free time. I also started doing single colors. I remember that I had a hard time being creative at this point. Then I got to this ink and watercolor setup that I really liked. Emma Darcy, kind of caricature-like. And then this is Katz, Beverly Katz from Hannibal. Again, just such a cool actress. Seeing how many attempts it takes me to get a face as correct and the resemblance that I would like. Playing around with watercolor and not using pre-mixed colors, just kind of going for the idea that, okay, these are the color zones, let's see what we can do with that. I didn't feel like this really looked like him. I felt like I had messed up like the bridge of the nose. And so I tried it again in pencil, and I like this one so much more. I also really like the line work, but it's not something that I'm able to do consistently. I wish it was. I really do like that. More practice. Sorry if you can hear my dog. She's really enjoying her bone. I did some faces from shapes. This one just cracks me up. Some more practice. These definitely had references. I don't think any of these last few pages are really worth slowing down on. I really like this. I wanted to try to draw a body type that wasn't, you know, I guess the, what would you call it, like the archetype, like the anime version. I wanted to try like someone who was a little more realistic looking, and I like that. Here, I wanted to do this in pen, and I wanted to kind of practice that ballpoint, almost like, I don't know, Baroque is not the right word, but kind of how like Da Vinci and them, they use those like really strong lines to show like direction. It almost seems like they're carving out the stuff rather than drawing it. So I just, kind of experimented there. Another watercolor painting. A little dark, a little muddy, but you know, she's still pretty. More faces. I feel like that is just a trend. I actually really liked these. I felt like they turned out really nice and that they look correct. They're not messed up in any way. I really wanted to push myself to just go until I felt like I was getting some semblance of form and realism. And I see it. Like, I see it in this form, and then I don't in this one because it's not proportioned correctly. And I'll see it in this, but I don't know. Like, I do wish I was better at this. I wish I could get a grip on bodies and forms. Now at the halfway mark. This is actually where I started filming every day for like 3 weeks straight before I got too busy with school and also got a puppy. And I just really went for, I guess you would say, the gist of it. Excuse me, sorry, I'm having the hiccups. And so I really tried to make the faces have the expressions and as little lines as possible. And I really like how it turned out. I think this page was really successful, but I wasn't really able to emulate it afterwards. I feel like it was kind of a one-hit wonder. Love this page too. I just think that it came out so well. Crayola markers, I first drew it in that really bright green and then came back and defined it, and I think it just worked out really well. Back to kind of loose, just trying to get the figures down. I liked it for what it was, which is that I couldn't get very detailed or particular with it, but that is also the thing that made me feel like I wasn't really getting anything out of it. I wasn't really getting in the details. And then I decided, okay, well, let's use a pen instead. And I thought these actually turned out really well. This one in particular, I felt like for the first time I was getting a grip on what form should look like. But without the right amount of practice, I don't feel like I'm able to consistently do that without a reference. This is definitely my favorite Crayola marker in the book. I just think that turned out so well, and that the lightness is so good. It's a rarity, and it's probably one of my favorites. To be fair, though, the bottom blue portrait was done from imagination, and I actually really like it as well. I was impressed with the fact that it mostly looks like it's real, like it has form. There's a skull underneath. More practice. Tried different angles. It was somewhat successful. Back to painting. Again, I really like the way that watercolor often has just details. Just the niceness of like the layering. That's something I just really enjoy about watercolor. I think it makes it really beautiful. Another full page of bodies. Getting better, but obviously from reference. I do really like this one, but I think it was probably the most successful on the page. I'm not sure the others were so great. I don't really know that you can see that either. Sorry, here. It's kind of on the edge of the page. Here I was feeling very discouraged. I felt I was tired, I was burnt out, my job was pretty tough at this time, and I was pretty frustrated at, I guess this is the actual halfway, this is where the pages split. And I was aggravated because I wasn't able to do what I wanted. It's funny how I can feel the burnout. Like, these pages, I was just feeling it. It was hard for me to even sit down and try. And then I watched Sense and Sensibility for the first time. I'm a big Pride and Prejudice fan. Had never watched Sense and Sensibility. And let me tell you, Alan Rickman's face gave me such inspiration. I just really enjoyed drawing him. And it's hard to tell, but this kind of was, well, I mean, it's not hard to tell, but it was like marker first. Then I went in and tried to correct my ill proportions with colored pencil. And then I went over that with pen. And I really did like how it turned out. I think it had a nice coloring to it. Another R.I.P. He's just so precious. Don't ask me why. What are you doing? Don't ask me why I started with blue. I don't know. But I kind of like it. Even though he looks like a Smurf. Screen redraw from Sense and Sensibility. Here, I drew a couple characters that I really like. Well, I say characters, I should say actors and actresses. So Jonah Hill, I like his look when he has those glasses. And this is Olivia Cooke, but she's not as successful as he was in this drawing. I'm sure she's as successful as him as an actress. Which then spiraled me into Pride and Prejudice. I decided to watch that. I could not help myself. I just felt like I needed to draw it. Again, Jane from Pride and Prejudice. Matthew McFadden from Pride and Prejudice. I got on a kick. And the art does get better, but I think it's only because there are reference photos. You know, I am drawing from reference. Here are some more reference drawings. At this point, I was reminding myself, why am I avoiding reference? Why do I have this mentality? Why do I keep perpetuating the mentality that references are bad? Because they're not. I don't know why I believe my 8th grade art teacher, you know. It's like, how else are you going to draw things? This page isn't as successful as the page before, but I really like the way I did the hair here. More drawings, more references. I like that one. I don't know, something about it's just interesting. Here I got into my Ignis Scientia kick again. Scientia? Scientia? Oh my gosh, I don't even remember his last name now. From Final Fantasy 15. I just really wanted to try drawing him again. Some of these, like this and this one, are modeled, and maybe even this one, are modeled after Casey Art, because I just love the way she draws him. And so I tried to look at, like, how does she draw him? Because this was how I drew him. And I think maybe these two, but I feel like it was not working out for me. And then this one was really successful. I love this one. So this is Daisy Ridley, and I think they both turned out so well. Again, just some, let's see if I can zoom out again. Some bigger drawings. Gosh, Can't keep them in the frame. Just, you know, this one is, of course, Ignis again. And this one I drew just with no reference, or, well, you know, video game reference, but no reference, like, from other people. Went back to trying to draw. This one is so funny to me. I don't even know what I was doing there. I think I was just playing around. Okay. So, not proud of any of these. Going through art block again. At this point, I think I moved into digital for quite a bit, just because I was struggling so much with my drawing. But I think that one is very successful. I really like that drawing. I started going back to how I was drawing at the beginning of the sketchbook because I remember I really thought that was successful and I kind of wanted to continue that. Here is where I start going back to like recording every day, and I thought the skulls were super successful. I just drew as many as I could find. And then this one turned out great. This was not from reference, and I was so proud. I was like, oh my god, I was able to put 3 people in a photo that looks sort of like they're standing together. I was so proud of that. Just some goofy line drawings, thinking about some books. Practicing a different way to draw skulls that I had found that I thought was really interesting, and seemed to be successful. Like it really broke down into these basic forms. I still actually use it for side profiles, and this was a page of practicing that short form. Hello? We're filming a video here. My poodle is not wanting to be quiet. Again, I think some of these are successful. They were from reference, and I'm kind of proud of them, especially this one. Yeah, I definitely think I can see myself starting to understand better how to get the proportions, and that really made me happy. We're almost to the end. I was doing lots of figure studies, and this one actually looks great. It really does look like this whole page makes me so proud to see like where I came from and where I am now. I think I was watching Digimon. Weird story. I was watching Digimon, and I thought I was watching the new season of Digimon, and it was so weird. It sounded so funny. I was like, surely this is not the real dialogue. Turns out I was watching a parody, and I was like, oh, oops. I like this. This is like a behind the scenes of Hannibal, but they actually look like they're in the same space, and so I was proud of that. This one was no reference at all. Just trying to figure out what I could do. This one I really liked. I think it turned out really nice. This page I'm not that proud of. I wanted to do some fan art of Sam and Higgs from the new trailer, but I never got to it. I'm just having a bad day here. Just no time to draw. You can tell from how little is on the pages. It's so empty. This was actually done in the truck on a way back from a doctor's appointment because it was the only day I had off. But I wasn't feeling it for a few pages. I just was so under the weather and tired. This one I want to come back to. I really want to do a Sam and Higgs fan art so bad. This is from the last couple weeks. Maybe more like the last month. when the trailer dropped, or I found out it had dropped, I was just so excited. I wanted to go back and draw some of my favorite characters. Some more practice. I think these turned out really nice. I do think drawing in pen, especially the Muji pens that look like this, I think that's definitely the best for me to get my figures to actually look like figures and not be too thick or too strange looking. I thought these turned out really well. These I drew from a pack on Patreon, King something. They do like free pose packs that they make in Blender. I do think this one actually looks very nice. And then these are from last night. So this is actually the end of the sketchbook. I didn't even know I had finished it last night because I didn't realize I was on the last page. Let me see if I can get you guys. I'm just going to flip it over. Maybe you guys can see better. These last few pages are hard to hold down. So I want to draw a character based on kind of a amalgamation of like Jensen Ackles, Mads Mikkelsen, the guy who plays King Arthur in the Merlin series, because they all have similar features. They all have very straight noses, thin lips, strong cheekbones, and somewhat deep set eyes. And so this was me trying to figure out, like, I think this is what I want my character life to look like. Life to look like. And then his character that he is going to have as kind of like a love interest. I wanted it to be an amalgamation of like Daniel Radcliffe, Hugh Dancy, like the green shining eyes, kind of the dark brown curly hair, a thin, not thin, but like, you know, they have like a certain body type, but I knew that I wanted them to have a different hairstyle than either of them really wore. Hugh Dancy had like long hair for a little bit, but I really wanted to go for like a adventurer almost. Originally, I wanted the character to be more of like a Indiana Jones, Jonah Hill type character, like from Maniac type of situation. But I ended up going with this, and I think that's going to be like what I base the design off of and try to go from there. And then another, oh, I did skip a page. Well, I'll have to go back for that page because the other character in the book is kind of based off of like an Olivia Cooke, Emma Watson style. So she is going to have red hair. She is going to be very like thin and flowy. She's kind of like a banshee-like character. So I guess she's got a little bit of that Holland Roden-esque-ness to her, but Olivia Cooke was definitely the base for it, but it takes place in an older time setting, and so I thought maybe I could use some of Emma Watson's outfit detailing from Little Women to kind of get that across. And so I just tried some different variations, and I kind of ended up with this one as what I want the character to look like. And then there will be an Emma DRC character. Oops. And so I need to go back and do that, but this is now completed, and I'm really proud of that. I'm really impressed with myself that I was even able to do that. Like I said, I've never actually completed a full sketchbook before. I mean, especially in a year. I don't know that I've ever completed any sketchbook in any amount of time. The next one I have bought, it is a little chunky, and I don't know how I feel about it. It is I got it on sale at Michael's. It's the Artist Loft. It has 110 pages. It's hardbound. I actually don't know that I'm going to like that because I like the fact that the other one was able to bend and fold over. But I think it's worth starting. And if I don't like it, I can always move into a different one. I have several backups, but this one I thought was neat. It's pink. You know, I'm basic like that. So I like this, and I'm hoping it'll hold up in my bag. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this sketchbook tour. If you did, like, leave a comment if you liked any of the same things that I like the Death Stranding. Definitely, like, leave a comment. I'd love to talk to you about it. So enjoy, and I will see you later. Goodbye.